Christianity is the foundation of America, and most Americans are born into a Christian family. The Western world in general has a long history with Christianity. I was born into a Christian family that used to practice, but the church has turned my immediate family off from practicing in the traditional way. I grew up going to Christian schools. I went to regular Christian schools, Catholic schools, and finally graduated from a public high school. The Christian God, however, never resonated with me growing up. My fourth grade teacher forced us to read the entire book of Revelations, and that scarred me for years. Being forced to read Revelations at a young age should be considered abuse. Over the years, I would start looking into different religions and see what would resonate with me. My investigation started with all three Abrahamic faiths. However, I quickly came to the conclusion that it is impossible to live in America and belong to any of these faiths. You would have to violate several aspects of these religions to survive. One of the biggest issues is usury. You can claim to be whatever you want in America, but it is incredibly hard to belong to these faiths under our current economic system. I should also note that Islam is the only one of these three religions that has decided to tackle the usury issue through Islamic finance. Judaism and Christianity seem to be using loopholes in trying to disregard this vital issue altogether. My religious journey would lead me into discovering Eastern religions, but none of them really resonated with me. Eastern religions tend to be more philosophical based and less of what I would consider a real religion. Shinto and Hinduism being exceptions to this rule. I found Wicca while I was still in high school, and it intrigued me at the time, but I never did anything with it. Wicca did not completely resonate with me, but it allowed me to find Asatru. Therefore, I am extremely thankful to the Wiccan faith, although it would be years before I considered doing anything with Asatru. The past decade in America has been rough from a cultural standpoint. The political situation in this country has forced me to get in touch with my roots. I am ethnically German and can trace part of my family back to Germany. I also have ties to Austria. This has made Asatru resonate with me more and more over the years. However, I consider myself to be more polytheistic than anything else. Polytheism has opened numerous doors for me from a religious perspective. You can be a pagan and a Christian, but you can't be a Christian and a pagan. This is what makes polytheism amazing in my opinion. You can worship whatever gods you want that you might feel an affinity with. You have a plethora of choices to pick from. You aren't forced to side with one god like you are in monotheistic religions. The irony of Christianity being so prevalent in America is that it's the least American religion. Asatru is more in line with America's way of life than Christianity is. I resonate with Odin, Thor, Freya, and Tyr from the Asatru path. But I have German blood running through me. Ancient Germanic peoples and ancient Turkic peoples are connected. I have felt an affinity for Turkic peoples for over a decade, especially after realizing that they used runes like the ancient Germanic people did. Therefore, I have been considering adding some of the gods from Tengrism into my practice. I have also taken a liking towards Indians and the Hindu gods. Indians have played a large role in my personal life so far, and I am thankful to them. Wicca puts a heavy emphasis on nature. Asatru puts a heavy emphasis on nature, family, and the people you worship with. Every religion has their own problem, but paganism tends to have bigger problems. There are two types of pagans in the Western world. You have far-left extremist pagans. I do not identify with the left outside of LGBT issues, and you also have far-left white racist. I do not identify with these people either. Therefore, I was forced to become a solitary pagan. This is due to there not being a middle ground in this faith. It's quite sad. Most YouTube content creators in this space also fall into either one of these categories. Everybody talks about a libertarian to far-right YouTube pipeline, but nobody ever talks about the pagan to far-left extremist pipeline. Being a solitary pagan has allowed me to worship the way that I want and observe the sorry state of affairs within this community. People within the pagan space can do whatever they want, but I highly recommend going the solitary route. It has worked wonders for me, and it might be beneficial for you too. Peace.